Good?
Okay.
All right, if everyone can please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call the public hearing to order. It's proposed local law number 1 of 2025 entitled Sewers. We did have this in the newspaper. Kathleen has that proof of publication and copies of the law. This law is required by New York State. If everyone remembers, we were cited as this was a violation when the DEC last did their inspection. Scott and Jason put this together. Scott put it together and ran it past Jason. It's sewers because currently we only have one sewer system, but this would cover if there was any potentially, if there was a new sewer system as well. So this would cover sewers. So if anyone in the public would like to come up and speak, please step up to the microphone and just state your name for the record. Anybody? No? Okay. Board members? Yeah. Any comments? Chris?
No, sir.
No comments.
All right, so Scott, we can close the public hearing. Okay, need a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you. So then I will read this resolution. So it is a resolution adopting local law number 1 of 2025, amending the Town of Mount Hope Town Code with the proposed sewer law entitled Sewers at a meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Mount Hope, Orange County, New York, held at the Town Hall, 1706 Route 211 West, Otisville, New York, 10963, on the 17th day of March 2025 at 7 p.m. prevailing time. I called the meeting to order, and present were all council members, and we now need a motion to accept this local law.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
No, it's you're doing the.
Oh, the seeker, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we need a motion to accept the, so Scott, should we read this first and then we do it, right?
You gotta type the action under seeker and then you can take action.
Okay, so whereas a motion was passed tonight to, in relationship to closing the public hearing, Town Hope, local law to amend the Mount Hope Town Code with the addition of proposed sewer law pursuant to Town Law Article 12, and whereas said notice for said public hearing was published in the Times Herald Record, the newspaper of record for the Town of Mount Hope on March 14th, 2025, provides notice for the public to attend the public hearing, comment upon the proposed local law, and whereas on March 17th, 2025, Town of Mount Hope Town Board opened and closed a duly noticed public hearing on the proposed local law, and all those in attendance wishing to be heard were given the opportunity to comment on the proposed local law, and whereas the proposed local law is a Type 2 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SEQR, as set forth in 6 NYC-RR Part 617, as the proposed local law involves the adoption of regulations, policies, procedures, and local legislative decisions in connection with the extension of utility distribution facilities, including gas, electric, telephone, cable, water, and sewer connections to render services in approved subdivisions. Now therefore it be resolved, the Town of Mount Hope hereby determines that proposed local law is a Type 2 action and as such is not subject to environmental review under the Environmental Conservation Law, and further be it resolved, the Town of Mount Hope hereby adopts local law number 1 of 2025 to amend Town of Mount Hope Code with the addition of a proposed sewer law entitled Sewers. Now I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, thank you. Need a motion to accept the minutes, or approve the minutes from the prior meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
No, second motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Correspondence from the town clerk.
Okay, I have the agreement with Millennium Strategies for the consulting fee for a grant that we're pursuing, a supervisor's report from February, a copy of the abuse policy for the police department, copy of the less lethal specialty impact munitions policy, the intermunicipal agreement with the County of Orange for the Stop DWI program, the highway spring and fall trash bid minutes. We have correspondence from the Department of Health with regard to Orange County Department of Health reminder of jurisdictional oversight and review, which was passed on to Linda Frank to pass on to the zoning and planning board members. The building department monthly report for February, the police chief's monthly report for February, and that is all that I have.
Okay, just that abuse policy is for the entire town, not for the
Oh,
police
okay, I'm
department.
sorry.
No, no problem. Okay, thank you. Committee reports. We'll start on my left. Jim, you wanna go first?
Sure. Two things, just follow-up questions. First one was for the Little League, and what, do we decide on what we're gonna do with the clay, and how much we're gonna give them?
We are going to give them enough for the fields that are in the town portion of the park, and Andrew was supposedly coordinating with them. He got tied up today with some travel, so he won't be here, but I think it's resolved, but.
And just following up.
Yep, no problem.
And the other thing I had was from last meeting, what's the board's thoughts about the Easter egg hunt, working with the Lions Club on April 12th to do the Easter egg hunt, split the cost for the candy and everything. That's all I have.
Did we not do that?
No, the whole
Talk
thing.
about it.
Oh, okay.
We tabled it until next
Gotcha,
week.
gotcha.
Do that with the shared file?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're gonna do it, we should just pay for it.
It's a joint event.
Oh, so you wanna do a joint event?
Joint event, yeah.
Can we do a joint event with a private entity, Scott, the Lions Club? And split the cost?
Let's see why not.
I'm fine with it. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Sorry, April 12th? Okay, that's fine, all right. That's all I have, thanks.
Do we have a maximum amount? I don't know how much you spent last year on the
Well,
candy.
I actually got the candy already, it was about $300.
So we would be 300 for us, or
No,
150?
150.
Okay, perfect. All right. Chris?
I don't know how much, Jim and I went to go to Little League, they had canceled their meeting, football had canceled their meeting. I did go to some training down at the fire center, which was about, with trains and how to identify them, and it was very interesting and enlightening, and I want to thank Brandon Mark for inviting us. I know he's gonna come up here at some point, give the rest of the board, but, I sat in a room with firefighters that, you know, that everybody was getting the same thing, but it was nice to be able to identify what things are, so. And I don't think I have anything else for you guys.
Okay. Carrie?
The highway laborer position closed on March 7th. I gave the applications to Andrew. I believe there were 16 of them. Tomorrow is the village election day for Otisville residents from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Village Hall. Also from the village, they're having a defensive driving class on April 5th. The Parks Committee, our next meeting will be April 9th at 5 o'clock. We're meeting at the pavilion at the park so we can kind of walk the layout of the park. I went last week, Orange County Sheriff's Department put on an active shooter training in the town of Minnesink. It was very informative. I think it might be something we should try to see if we can bring over this area as well. It was quite well attended. I would say there was probably about 40 people there. This Saturday, March 22nd at 10:30, there's a grand opening and ribbon cutting for Joyous Cakes at 185 Grange Road, which is in the Grange building. And then 2 weeks later, on April 5th at 9:30, there's another grand opening for the Social Day Jury Center, also in the Grange building. We did get a little card from the Historical Society inviting the board to their open house on Sunday, June 8th. There's not a time on here, so we'll have to follow up with Nancy for that. She would like board members to come. They're working on a lot of improvements this year. They're putting a new deck on the barn and working on a new sign. So I have a phone call by Bicentennial later on.
Amanda?
The planning board meeting for this Wednesday, the agenda is the Antona 3-lot subdivision. and the Mongop River Solar, I believe that's on Pine Grove Road. That's all.
Okay, I have a few things. So I spoke to Spectrum, so we're gonna get a refund of $20,432. This money was from the COVID fund, so it has to be reallocated. So what I would propose to do is to split it in half, whatever that comes out to, right, $217 or whatever the number is. Half to the rec center to buy some different items that they could use. One of the things, we had a lot of weights that were then taken back by the owner of the weights, and we've had a big push from people to replace them. So later on in the meeting, I do have quotes that we're gonna talk about. And then the other half to go towards the bicentennial event. So that would be the breakdown. Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Jim?
Just to make sure, is that ARP money allocated for that kind of stuff? That's all I wanted to make
Yep.
sure.
Both things would be a permissible use.
That's my only question.
No, I think so.
Okay, perfect. The annual financial report was filed. We didn't file for an extension this time, which was good. And we will have on Wednesday the copy in the clerk's office. If anyone in the public would like to come and inspect it, you're more than welcome to
What was the
do.
date of this file?
I'll have to get that from Royal Life.
Because that has to be in the minutes.
Okay, I'll get that for you. We're gonna need authorization, this came after the minutes came out, for me to sign the insurance, it's a special insurance policy for the gasoline tanks. It went up $100, actually $134 from last year, so I'll need authorization to sign that. That's required for us to have that coverage. Also, the supervisor's report from February. Just to touch base on the rec coordinator, she started Wednesday. Kathleen Bello, we voted on that last meeting. So she's getting her feet wet with things, trying to get, she's been over in the police station basement looking at, we had our old summer rec stuff over there, plus the books. The bookmobile is coming along, so that's one of her projects that she's looking to move on. So the fitness equipment, so the weights. So we got 3 quotes. These are dumbbell sets. This is to replace, again, someone had, I guess they didn't donate them. I didn't realize, I thought we owned them actually. They were not. Somebody then damaged one of the pieces and he got mad and then took the whole set home. And that's very popular. We got 3 quotes. The lowest quote was from a company called Rogue Fitness for $3,649. The next set was from Modern Office, was $3,999, and then Dick's was the most expensive at $4,057.70. So I would like to go forward with purchasing the Rogue Fitness weights for $3,649. So,
What are we looking to get?
well, this is these are.
I don't know how many pieces I meant.
Oh, so this is it's a rack. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Scott. There's a picture in here of what it actually looks like.
Do you
Marie.
mind? It's, and I'm not one of them that, just for the record, that asked for this. But it's 5 pounds, a pair of 5 pounds, all the way up to 100. Because I know we already had 5 pounds, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The gentleman who donated it temporarily had 30 to 100, right?
So they're dumbbells we're talking about.
Dumbbells. But, so we did, this is gonna be, because the difference isn't that much, actually, from 5 to 100. So it's 2 pairs. The Dick's Sporting Goods is actually only from 30, because you can't buy a rack at Dick's for that heavy. So we had to buy them in pairs, and that was only from 30 to 100, and it was already that much. So Rogue Fitness is from 5 to 100. And the other one, I think, we had to buy 2 sets, 5 to, I think, 25, or not 5 to 25, 5 to 45, and then 50 to 100. Anyway, so that's that, yeah. So it's from 5 to 100, is the Rogue Fitness, and it's the cheapest.
So we had a rack, I thought the town either bought it or was donated before I was here, and then when I was notified, the person that was, I guess, which we probably shouldn't allow, not probably, we shouldn't allow, loaned them to us. I thought it was, like I said, we owned them, took them back because he was mad that someone damaged one of the pieces, so that's why,
And there wasn't a rack there, it was just
they were on the
floor.
ground. This
Yeah.
will be a physical rack to go back into. I don't think anyone damaged the equipment intentionally. I think because there was no actual rack to put them on, somebody just threw it on the ground, and that's what caused the damage. I don't think anyone did it on purpose. So this will actually have the rack as well as part of this, so. Any other questions on that? And that is all I have. Highway report, Andrew's not here, police report, go ahead, Mike.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I conducted 5 interviews for police officer candidates. One was a potential full-time lateral transfer, and the other 4 for part-time positions. So as an administration, we're going through those, and hopefully something will come of them. We, as you see, Kathleen said, mentioned the DWI contract. I am looking for a board resolution for that, as well as authorization for town supervisor to sign the contract. We do have a dog control officer opening. At this current time, we do not, it's vacant, we don't have anybody. So I will be putting out a job opening for that. It's gonna be $20 an hour for 8 hours a week. They'll be reporting to me. So if anyone knows anyone that would be interested, please send them my way. We will be putting out on social media and what have you, but in the time being. What else do I got? The pickup truck was completed as far as upfitting goes. Now we just have to get it graphicked up. So that leads me to the next thing that you guys just have a picture in front of you. We're looking to update the graphics of the vehicle. We kind of are very similar to the town of Walk-Hill, and the fact that they're our neighboring agency, I think it's important that we kind of distinguish ourselves from them a little bit. So, oh yeah, you want to pass it?
Guys want to pass?
So we added a touch of color to it, so I'm just looking for approval to change the design. Additionally, as you see on the truck, it's a little different. There is puzzle pieces in the graphics of the police and of our patch. There will also be stuff on the tailgate similar to that, and probably the back window of the truck. This again is part of our plan to raise awareness for autism. The plan is if it is approved, it is the SRO vehicle, so it'll be on display at the school, which I think will be good for the children to see and the teachers. It'll also be our special events vehicle, so it'll always be at our special events, I think, which can spark conversation to raise awareness. So looking for approval for that.
And Mike, I know the answer, but for everyone else, we're not doing them all at once.
Oh,
This
yes.
is gonna be a phase-in,
Yeah,
so
so
we're doing
this-
one car that we bought anyway, and then as we move forward in future years and buy new cars, we'll transition. So we're not stripping the current cars we have.
Exactly.
and doing it.
It's not gonna impact our budget, it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna replace as we go.
All right, anything else?
I think that's it, unless there are any questions.
I do have a question though, with the dog control officer, you said 8 hours a week. We're not doing an on-call as needed?
Well, on-call as needed will be part of it as well, but I think there was a lot of breakdown in communication with previous administration. So going forward, I think there needs to be some physical hours that are actually reporting to me, reporting to the station, and I can actually supervise it better. The on-call thing is, I really did not know when they were going on calls, when they were following up on stuff, there was no reporting to me at all.
Okay.
So for better control of that, there would be some physical hours that I know they're working, and then additional hours that they would report to me as needed.
Thank you. Mike, it comes out to about the same budget for the year. It's 8 hours a week, doesn't it, as the stipend? that
Yeah,
used
when
to
we
pay?
figured it out, it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember we talked about it, I just wanted to make that, it's the same.
All right, any other questions for Mike? Okay. Village of Otisville report, Ryan?
I've got a couple of things. Kerry brought up the active shooter and hostile events class that we went to. I do have a call into the sheriff's department to schedule something for April. I haven't brought it to my board yet, but I'd like to do it jointly with you guys. I was gonna do it up at the social hall at the firehouse, because the one thing that Menacing didn't have is they just had a wall, which didn't really show up that well. They have an overhead projector, and they were trying to do a presentation, so I think with the amount of people that Menacing had for it, and I think after posting it online and gotten some people interested in it, I think it would be something to do. And if you want to do it, I'd like to just do it jointly, so you guys can talk about it, but our next board meeting's Monday, I'll bring it back. There's six spots left for the defensive driving class, Saturday, April 5th, so anyone's looking for that. We're at about 34 right now, we can only fit 40, so I'm sure they'll fill up. And the last thing is, the grand opening for Joyous Bakery over at the Grange is this Saturday at 10:30. I'm gonna do a ribbon cutting over there, and I know all you guys know about it, but I'm just bringing it up to the public so they can know about it, so that's all. That's all I got.
So just to clean up a couple things, we need a motion to approve the new vehicle design for the police department. Someone wanna make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. And then for Brian's joint class, I have no problem with it. Does anyone have any issue with that? There's no cost involved?
No,
right?
no.
So, all right, so why don't you get the date,
Yep.
and we're in favor of co-hosting that.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. All right, old business. So first up, Hidden Valley Sewer. So, last storm, I guess, not this storm, last night, I guess the last big storm we had a pretty big roof leak. Simpson Roofing came in, fixed the roof for us. Unfortunately, there was some sheetrock / mold damage. The highway guys went in there, I guess they're gonna cut out some of the sheetrock and remove the mold in the spots that they couldn't clean with bleach to get it out. So we're moving forward with that. The plant is back up and running as it's supposed to. The new valves were installed, everything's unfrozen, and things are working properly again. We are meeting, we met with the board last week, the Hidden Valley Sewer Advisory Board. I met with Jason, our engineer, and we're gonna sit down in hopefully the beginning of May and come up with some strategies so this doesn't happen again next year. The other thing is I'm gonna send out a letter to at the request of the board, to all the homeowners talking about what they should and shouldn't be putting in the sewer, because that also contributed. So one of the problems we have with the freezing is we had portable pumps. The portable pumps are slightly different, so they were sucking in items that are not supposed to be in the sewer that the big pumps don't suck in. So we had to turn the airflow off, which then exacerbated the problem with the freezing. So things kind of kept building on ourselves. So we're just gonna, they asked if I'd send a letter, I'm going to. Just a reminder about things that you really shouldn't flush down your toilet, so that hopefully we'll hope next year. And I think that's all I had on that. Mike or Mary, was there anything else?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, bicentennial update.
Our next meeting will be April 22nd at 7 o'clock at the park. We're gonna meet at the park to try to work on layouts. For our next meeting, the next board meeting, or perhaps the one after that, everyone's hopefully will have some pricing on some handouts and things you want to do for this bicentennial. One thing I just learned tonight, we had voted on before having a $50 fee for food and beverage vendors, but our food and beverage vendors have to get our peddler's license also, so that's an additional $25.
Okay.
So I don't know if we wanted to stick with the pricing we had, or reduce one. I didn't realize there was a separate $25 peddler's license fee they would have to get as well.
Do they need a peddler's license to sell food in an event?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we wanna just reduce it to 25, or reduce it to 25 and 25?
That's what I was thinking, so it's still equal up to 50, I didn't want to charge people. Okay.
Pretty soon.
You wanna just make a motion now?
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And then also we were looking to move forward with the fireworks, so I wanted to see if we could get an RFP out for the fireworks for the bicentennial.
Do we have to do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wanna hire a company to do the fireworks show.
We done it years past?
No.
First
We
time,
don't have,
okay.
yeah.
Good.
Now, Scott, we have a dollar amount in mind, do we not wanna, like, is, from talking to fireworks people, it sounds like it's kinda like let your dollar be your guide. So do we have to put down how much we wanna spend, or
Or like how.
does that get us in
Or-
trouble, you know what I mean, like,
It's not, RFP is you're asking for proposals.
okay.
You're not telling
So do
them.
we have to then say we want an X minute long show, or we want, like, what would be the standard, you know what I mean?
I don't know,
There is no
yeah.
standard.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, I don't know how that would work, that's all we were just trying to kick around.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, what do you-
standard, I mean, when we do the fair, it's like we spend so much money, 5,000, it's about 15-minute show. Between 10 and 15 minutes for a show.
You looking for a minimum show of X number of minutes?
Well, I guess the committee would have to.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to, what did you, how long was your show last year for a night out?
I don't know.
I would
Okay,
say-
yeah, it's typically 10.
I would say at least 15.
I was
Between
thinking
10 to 15 minutes.
20.
20 minutes, Scott?
Mhm.
I think that's. Okay.
I think, one thing is we wanna try to do that quick, because was brought to our attention, I was at the meeting, and the price of fireworks are gonna go through the roof, because stuff going on with the weather major, so, it's the country to me.
Is this in addition to the two that were allowed?
Mhm.
That's the law, right? Then they create, we could only,
You can talk under the public portion,
sorry.
but yeah. All right, anything else, Karen?
Nope, that's all I had.
All right, cool. Indigo Reservoir Water Update, I spoke to our town engineer, he also had concerns, I spoke to Scott, we're looking to set up a meeting with the county to, voice our concerns. Hopefully at the next meeting, we'll have something on that. The ATV law, so Scott, I think the consensus at the last board meeting was that we were looking to further limit the scope to SR1 districts or SR districts. So maybe you and I can talk about that in the next couple of weeks. And you can give me your thoughts and we can talk through that. And splash pad, Amanda?
On Friday, March 7th, Supervisor Ricard, Mayor Carey, myself, and the town engineer met to discuss the possible option of connecting to the village water line. The area we were looking at is Mount Hope Road. The connection would omit the cost of drilling a well, purchasing reservoir tanks, daily water testing with UV treatment, as well as a recirculation system. Jason had some good points with some possible, or some rough estimates of cost, but again, this was all a discussion. Nothing was decided.
So after that meeting, Brian had reached out. The water main cuts across in a different location than I think we originally thought, so now that would eliminate having to cross the county road as well.
Right,
If we tap in on the park side,
okay.
so that was a positive news, so. All right, new business. So, as some of you may or may not know, we have a bridge on Spruce Road that is failing. It's a yellow flag. We did a weight limit last year to try to get some longer timeout. It's estimated it's gonna cost about $2.5 million. So, looking for a motion to have Millennium Strategies, our grant writer, to write a grant for the 4-year 26 congressionally directed spending grant program, not to exceed $2,500. So we would need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. This would be need a motion to, well, first of all, does anyone have any questions on the chemical munitions policy?
Then we're gonna table that.
That one we're tabling, okay, I'm sorry. Any questions on the less than lethal impact munitions policy from Mike?
No.
No? Okay, need a motion to approve that policy?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So the town currently does not have in place a molestation and abuse policy. So the insurance company brought this to our attention and is requiring us to adopt one. We have one. We gave it to Scott to review. He was, didn't think there was a problem with that. So we would need a motion to adopt the abuse policy, which would be for our manual policy number 907. Any questions on that motion, or on that situation? All right, need a motion to adapt it?
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Looking for approval to advertise for the recreation aid position. This would be a position for the summer months. We did it last year on a limited basis. This would be to do the programming daily over the summer. The salary would be $17.50 an hour, and this was approved as part of the budget, but now we'd go out to advertise for that position. So I need a motion to do that.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So we got the, we had the opening for the bids for the trash containers. So we only received one bid. It was from, everyone's got a copy of it, I think, Middletown Carting. So it's, do you have one too?
No, you
All right, I'll give him mine. It's 6 30-yard containers.
Everybody got them in the email.
go.
There you go. For construction debris with additional containers if needed, so it's $220 per each container, and $117 ton of each container. They're the only ones that bid. And then 3-30 or 40-yard containers for metal, no charge for the containers, and they'll pay the market value for the metal. So that was the results of the bid. So I think need a motion to accept this is one bid, so.
I'll make the motion.
Second is Amanda, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
You're taking tires, correct?
I don't see anything on there about tires, but do we normally take
There
tires?
was nothing in there about tires.
Yeah, I don't
We
think,
usually take tires and they charge them.
We have a post out, I don't think we take tires.
I don't think we,
Yeah. We usually take tires.
I think we take electronics, I don't think it's tires.
Okay.
need a motion authorizing myself to sign the 2025 Stop DWI contract with the County of Orange.
I'll make that motion. I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to just surplus and destroy the Brother printer from the bookkeeper's office that is no longer working. So we're just gonna throw it in the dumpster. Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to authorize paying the bills abstracts 10 and 11.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to accept the supervisor's report from February.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second
All in favor?
it. Aye.
Opposed? So carried. And then I would like to get a motion to approve the Rogue Fitness quote for the equipment for the fitness part of the rec center for $3,649.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? So carried. And then I need authorization to sign the gasoline tank insurance policy.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And just for Kathleen, it's with GenCap Specialty Insurance Services Incorporated. The total cost is $1,700.23. And that is all I have. Next up is public comment. So if you want to come up and make a statement, have a comment, please just say your name for the record. Whoever wants to go first. You don't have to lean into the microphone. We're have someone coming on Thursday to fine tune it, but
Sarah Saraseva, Otisville, representing the Pocatello Ladies Auxiliary and the Pocatello Firehouse. On April 6th, Sunday, we're doing a breakfast with the Easter Bunny. There's gonna be, the auxiliary's gonna have 50-50 raffle. There's gonna be a little bit of tricky tray. We'll be selling our lotto calendars. And you can get a picture with the Easter Bunny. It doesn't, it's $10 for adults, $5 for children over the age of 3 and 3 and under are free.
What'd you say it was? I'm sorry.
April 6th, and it's from 7 a.m. to noon at the Pocatello Firehouse.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up.
I just have a couple things for the seniors, but before I get into that, I had a quick question for Scott. Just because I don't know the answer to this, and it crossed my mind while you were talking. With a request for proposal such as the one for the fireworks, if you have a dollar figure in mind, where it's a service that you're looking for as opposed to having something constructed, can it be written in a way that you would say, you know, we are looking to spend X amount of dollars, what can you provide for that amount of money?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I have to look at, quite frankly. Your question is the right one, so I'll just have to try to research if there's a way we can kind of pigeonhole. I just don't want to have a dollar amount specific, because that's the whole purpose of, you know, asking for proposals. But to your point, a timeline and what you're looking for by way of, you know, bursts, if you will,
Right.
to try to get as close to a budget, is probably workable.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay, back to the seniors. Of course, you mentioned getting the money back on the Kohler Road project, so my head starts spinning with what might we need. I have mentioned to you in the past, and I know you've been in the senior center and know it, at some point in time, it's not critical that it gets done right away, but the folding chairs really need to be addressed. If you line them all up, you'll see that many of them are kind of like sliding downhill and make it very difficult to sit on. So that's one thing, but more critical right now is tables. We had, to our amazement, 83 people show up at our meeting the other day. We have never had more than 60. So we did manage to have seats for everybody. There were plenty of chairs, but they were really cramped because every table was being used. So some of them are kind of warped, they could be replaced, but we actually need.
You're talking about long,
Yes,
The long table.
we actually need a couple of
we
additional
don't,
ones.
we have money for that anyway. We can
Okay.
take care of that.
Well, that would be great, because,
How many tables you think would, 4, 6, 5, I mean, what,
oh, 4 would be fine.
4 tables?
Absolutely.
Oh, we can take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll go through the chairs, I don't wanna cut the chairs. off.
No,
I'll
I
take-
know, but the tables are more critical right now.
Okay.
The only other thing I did want to mention is, the first trip for the seniors will be Wednesday, April the 23rd. We do have a full bus, which means there's going to be a lot of cars in the parking lot that day, but we should be back long before dinner time, so we'll make sure if there was anything in the evening. I did want to bring it up just in case I don't make it to the next meeting, and since this is, I think, Andrew's first time dealing with it, please be sure that he understands what all these cars are going to be that day.
Okay.
So that's Wednesday, the 23rd.
No problem.
Thank you.
You got it. Anybody else? Anybody? No? Okay. Board
We
comment.
have some-
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up, I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh, it's
didn't
fine.
see your
It's
hand.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Just say your name for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Mullins. I am one of the founders of an adult social daycare center as well as a nurse. I have my CTRS here. I'm a recreational therapist. We are going to be opening up on April 5th at 185 Grange. We have private pay. We have physicians on board. We take most insurances. We're going to be reducing isolation and increasing socialization in the neighborhood. So we have music therapy, horticulture.
Anything you can think of.
Yeah, we have a lot of things that's gonna be new and exciting. I bought a home here about 4 years ago, so I'm just looking to increase.
Awesome, welcome.
increase
Welcome,
socialization.
thanks for
Good
opening
luck,
up.
and we'll be there on the 5th.
Oh, thank you so
Have some of
much.
their flyers out.
And,
Fill out
yeah,
if
thank
anybody's-
you. Because that is definitely a problem, isolation.
Yes.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Board comments? I just will address the one comment that Frank made, just because I cut you off there. We, a few meetings ago, looked into this. The town, as the sponsor and the holder of the fireworks show, is exempt from that local law, so this year there will be 3 shows, for this year only. I guess the intent is for it to be this year only, being that it's our bicentennial, so we decided to do that. So, and that's all the comments I have for tonight. I'll start with you, Jen. Any comments?
No comments.
Chris?
No comments.
No comments.
Before I do this, because I always seem to forget something, Kathleen, did I forget anything? Is there any motions that I forgot?
Did the supervisor's report. The only question I wrote down is if you're doing the Easter egg thing with the Lions Club, that you vote to expend money.
Okay,
So that's the only thing.
someone want to make a
How
motion?
about we hold off, can I hold off until the next meeting, and give you the actual
That's
dollar
fine.
amount?
Yeah,
How's that?
perfect, no problem. All right, anything else, Scott, did I forget anything? Nope, all right. Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Go on tomorrow, sir. Thank you.